As if finding the one wasn't complicated enough, now you have to hold on to your heart, and you better watch your wallet too. Romance fraud is on the rise. Take a look. Romance scams have reached an all-time high, jumping 80% in 2021, and most victims never see it coming. The red flags aren't as obvious as you think, and Netflix's new documentary, Tinder Swindler, shows how dating apps are primed for crime. Simon Lviv is an Israeli imposter that charmed and conned women worldwide, pretending to be the heir of a diamond company. Simon's Tinder profile showcased his luxe lifestyle, private jets, posh hotels, designer goods, all paid for by the woman he scammed to the tune of $10 million. The past 5 years alone, $1.3 billion was lost to the lonely just looking for love. So with romance fraud on the rise, how can you protect yourself from being a target? And joining us now is relationship and dating coach, Megan Weks. Welcome to the show, Megan.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Megan.
So Megan, why are daters particularly vulnerable to romance fraud in today's times?
Unfortunately, it's been the perfect storm with people feeling isolated, especially those singles who live alone and they're just craving connection so much. And these fraudsters are capitalizing on that.
So now, Megan, tell me exactly what kind of people are falling for this kind of fraud?
Well, there's two sets of people who are particularly vulnerable, and those are the people who are just getting back out there, let's say from a divorce, and they're not very experienced with online dating. So they're unable to really notice when something is off because they're just so new to it. And second are those people who are so optimistic about finding love that they're always searching for that fairy tale. And you just have to realize that these women want love and their fingers are basically ready to fall off from swiping so much. So when someone comes along with seemingly everything that they've ever dreamed of, who's also just showing up like this fellow did as just so sweet, genuine, kind, and like an excellent listener, they're thinking like, could this be the one? And those are the two kinds of people who are really vulnerable to this.
And here at the Doctors, we're all about prevention, Megan. So what are some of the romance fraud red flags we should be looking for?
Great question. And we can thank Tinder Swindler for shedding light on this. One of the first things that was clearly noticeable that he did was he got them to send pictures of their passports literally right away, even before the first date. Don't send your personal information to someone that you haven't met.
That is a for sure. And to you, Dr. Ish, I mean, what are your thoughts on the romance fraud and the mindset, of the victims? Obviously, the swindler himself is a sociopath, a true predator, but what about the victims?
Doc, you can't paint your red flags pink and then just assume things are going to work out, right? So that's the first thing. But now here's the deal. The victims aren't naive, they're just human, and they believe in love. And they ran into a guy who created a whole persona based on the fact that he thinks you're the person who believes enough in love and believes that you have a chance that if you could just help me do this one little thing, right after you wire me the money, this dream can be yours. And Dr. O, the other thing they do is they don't give you the full lie, right? They lie just enough to allow you to fill in the blanks with what it is they think you already want to believe, right? Exactly.
Reel you in.
They reel you in. They are very savvy. And you got to understand, this is what they do for a living, right? And so they're really, really good at it.
Yeah, so the glaring red flag here is when they're bringing up money or requesting money very early on after getting to know them. So this is just something that if this happens, you've got to be on the lookout. Think about it this way. If the role was reversed, would you be asking someone that you just met online for money? I don't think so.
No, and the whole concept of wiring the money involving routing numbers and your bank account and all that. I mean, that is such a huge invasion of your privacy. I mean, you're sharing really, really key information.